Hello, I'm MC Toon, the second worst rapper in the world. People are talking in the background in the chat, and we're going to get that going in a second here. But this is the after show from the discussion with Hip Hop Hippie, and I'm just going to bring them right in right now. We've got Tony's head chopped off. I'm going to try to fix that. All right. If you want, you could back up your statement there and say it again or whatever if you wanted, or we could move on.
Absolutely. So no, I'll say it again. Coming into sort of this community has been a bit eye-opening in that I didn't really understand that there were levels of denialism that obviously do exist. But it's also introduced me to a bunch of people who are actually extremely good science communicators and extremely good scientists in their own right. They may not, have gone on to postgraduate level, but they understand how science is done and they do a good job accumulating knowledge, assessing it and presenting it. It's just really impressive. Conspiracy Cats is a great communicator. Blue Marble Science is a fantastic designer of experiments. And MC Toon, you have a very engaging way of entering these conversations with people, and not running them into a ditch, not turning it into a person-on-person just a series of meaningless contradictions. And your skill at doing that is just really eye-opening. So I'm learning a lot from the people in this community. I'm learning a lot being here. So
well, thank you.
I'm hoping I'm returning the favor a little bit, but you guys are teaching me a lot about how I should be comporting myself.
I love that. I honestly really appreciate this community. I think that it's nice to have a community where we can lift each other up and support each other and want to see each other succeed, grow, learn, share ideas. I don't know. I just really love it and appreciate it. So. Yeah,
and I had to say that if there are some members of the community with each with their own idiosyncrasies, and they come into these conversations with different attitudes, different objectives, and different backgrounds, and that can lead to much more confrontational and much more aggressive conversations from some people, and that's to be expected. We're a community. We're not all the same person.
Exactly.
If we were, it would be boring. So
I completely agree, and I just feel very grateful to have met MC Toon and to have gotten to know him. I love the way he handles himself as well. He handles himself in such a very unique fashion that I learn from every time I watch him. So yeah, I agree.
Thank you again.
Yeah, MC Toon's cool, I guess.
This is almost done.
I still am drinking my tab.
There we go.
Did you hear all the lovely things I said about you, Punchy?
I did.
Yeah, it was pretty gushy.
Yeah, I teared up.
It almost sounded unrehearsed. Ilya's been working on that for.
I totally didn't send her a script to read up.
Oh, here, B-Ball for Life sent me. Oh, this is gonna be great. He took a video clip from Hip Hop Hippie's. I'll wait for Hippie to show up to do this, but took a screenshot from Hippie's video and did a horizontal compression. So
the question is,
I can't wait for this.
The question is, who's going to moderate for Dandelion and I?
Oh, I will.
Oh yeah,
I called it first.
I'm back.
No, I was gonna say Punch.
Can you hear me?
No, you can be a moderator.
Yes.
I can't moderate because I will just laugh. Like, I'll point and laugh. I'll be on camera.
Hippie is back.
What's up, Hippie? We got Brandon in here either?
Yeah, I didn't get an email yet from Brandon Fail. Hippie, you could just forward that email I sent you to him. That's the same link that everybody uses.
Yeah. Let's get him in here. Let's get a full 9.
He hasn't messaged me or anything, so.
Oh, he was talking mad crap in the side chat when nobody was there to call him on it.
I have no doubt that he's willing to express the same sentiments in person.
I'm waiting him to join on him to join because he said that we were all scared, and I'm here.
Right.
Oh, let me as that's going on. I got a couple things I do need to say. The last stream, just as we were ending, B Falconer dropped a super chat for I think $5, but no message. So thank you very much, B Falconer. Anamorphic Mind for $2 says, "Is Punchy old enough for this stream?"
Wait. They should try and guess my age. Not the people that already know, but the other people.
Anamorphic Mind, yeah. Everybody who doesn't know how old he is already, what's your guess?
My guess, and I do not know how old he is, I'm going to guess that he is 31.
I hate it when they're over. Is it?
I'm good. Can just let me, because you look about 2 years older than me, and I'm about to turn 24, so I'm gonna guess 26. No.
Can I have a guess?
Ooh.
She has no idea either. So
let's see. Fohammer 335 says 75. We got a 33. We got 12. We got 5. Sleepy Dan, you're pretty close, I think, with 5.
69.
So Ilya,
69.
Ilya, just for legal purposes, make sure your guess is above the age of consent.
I did see one correct answer in the side chat.
Have you seen a picture of me, Tony?
It also should be within the creepiness formula window.
Creepiness formula window.
Do you know the creepiness formula?
I think it's asymmetric, right? Guys have a much more forgiving creepiness formula than women do.
The official creepiness formula doesn't address gender, but it is your age divided by 2 plus 7.
Right. Okay.
Is Brandon in the side chat?
Yeah. Dandelion sent him a link. So.
Well, I'm gonna head out actually. So.
Aw.
Hippie, just.
If he shows up, tell him I said hi.
I have one thing to show you though. First, Hippie.
Okay.
Your video of the plane that was that you're like it's flat, right? B-Ball for Life took that video, grabbed a still from it, and did a horizontal compression, and it's curved.
Well,
so
you
shot yourself. You shot a goal into your own net there, buddy. So
what happens when you compress something?
When I compress a straight line on my computer, it stays straight.
Yeah, if you compress an image, it's not the same as compressing a physical object. You're accentuating.
You're multiplying what's already there. Is what you're doing.
Oh, so yeah.
Linear transformation.
Where is it?
Tony, I sent you a picture of me, so I think you need to read first the question.
I'll check it out later, you guys. I'll check it out later, but I gotta head out.
Oh, there's a question from DKG Custom.
Oh yeah, answer DKG's question.
Can we get Hippie to explain a 360-degree rectilinear projection?
I don't really know what is that.
You brought it. You had an example. The 360-degree camera that you had was a 360-degree rectilinear projection.
Now, you're right. You're right, Ilya. Now I think Christ Puncher might be in legal difficulties. Yes.
Hey, can I ask you one more question, Hippie? There's someone wanted me to ask something here. Why would they teach us that people used to think it was flat hundreds of years ago? Wouldn't they remove it and avoid the very mention of the flat Earth from schools to begin with?
I definitely would.
Well, when I was taught about flat Earth in school, it was just ridicule, and it's there for when you get older, and then because they knew the argument was going to come back around because the Earth is flat.
Who is they?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is freaking
The
comedy
controllers,
gold. Go on.
man. The controllers, the people that control the brainwashing.
And who is that?
That's me. Jeff.
If
Hi.
Anybody that shows you pictures of the globe Earth from outer space, those guys.
Oh,
So-
so I'm a brainwasher now? I'm a controller? God damn.
so amateur astrophotographers are controllers.
He doesn't know
They're
what that
not. They're not in space though, are they?
Yeah, but they're taking
they-
pictures of nebula and star formations and galaxies and stuff that
They-
isn't possible on a flat
Are you-
Earth.
Well, are you taking those pictures?
So
No, but I've looked through
Some other-
telescopes and seen similar occurrences.
Yeah, you're seeing luminaries.
Hey,
okay, can I ask a? So
I
Anyway.
really gotta go, guys.
okay, no
but-
problem. Take care.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
go ahead, Tony. Go ahead. What's up, man?
Well, I'd just say, the existence of nuclear weapons relies on relativity being correct. Relativity tells us about the curvature of space-time, and one of its consequences is gravity.
Well, I don't believe
so-
in nuclear weapons, so
You don't believe that nuclear
Oh
weapons
my
exist.
god.
no, I don't believe in them.
I
believe in
don't-
atoms.
You don't believe in atoms.
No,
Do you
atoms.
believe in cells?
Wow.
Okay. Do you
That's different.
Cells.
Cells are
Do you-
different from atoms.
do you believe in X-rays?
Well, I've had an X-ray, so yeah.
Okay.
Why
Or I
cherry
had-
pick?
How do you think that X-rays are made
Um,
in the X-ray machine?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I suggest you look into
Tony?
how X-rays are made. Yep.
But have you seen
Did
an
you know
atom?
that you can actually get gamma rays from unraveling tape?
I did not know that.
Well, right on, guys.
Um,
I gotta head out.
when-
All right.
when I
went-
Thanks, hippie.
But thanks a lot.
Take care.
No, Hibby, wait. I have two questions for you.
I really gotta go. I am so sorry, guys.
Take care, hippie.
Peace out.
Take care, bud.
Peace out.
he's done all this research on the controllers who brainwash. I didn't even get to ask where I apply for that job.
Right.
We're just doing this for nothing. Come on, help a brother out,
If
hippie.
you do all
Help a
this
brother out.
research, you should know where I can apply for that because I'm living life completely wrong.
Actually, I get paid pretty handsomely for all the shilling that I do, so.
What?
Oh, really?
Can you open that
Oh.
file that I sent you?
Canadian
I'm
NASA
paying money
site?
to receive a science education.
Canadian NASA.
It's the best NASA.
No, French Canadian NASA is the best NASA, just like French Canada
tell
is
us.
the best Canada.
Let's see. The Saif, you talking
It's,
about the Red
popular
Bull?
mechanics. Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
that's actually what I wanted to ask him about, but I see a lot of flat earthers use that Red Bull flight again.
Yeah.
They used it a couple of years ago also because they said that the horizon is flat, but now they're saying that it rises to eye level. But if you look at the camera mounted behind him, which is what we see, that's pointed down.
Yeah, that's right. In order for and this is one of the things that sort of came up repeatedly is that they don't understand the formalism that needs to be applied to an experiment in order for the results to be valid. They go, there's an image, I can use that. Well, where was it taken from? What are the properties of the
Right.
camera? What was its inclination?
There's actually more problems with it because he complains about barrel distortion, but you can see all of the pictures taken with that. That's a wide-angle lens. So they can use. So it's fine now to use a wide-angle lens. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anything that reinforces their narrative, they can use, and it's valid. Anything that we use, they've got technical errors. And one of the it happened at least twice in the debate. So in both of Toon's presentations, he addressed the possibility of error before presenting his data.
And as I also told Toon, that's because I actually talked to Toon about this. That normally a 15mm lens has no distortion. That's why they're so popular and they're easy to make.
Yep. So
because they're like right in the middle between wide angle and telephoto.
Yep. But so Toon would present, so here's a quantification of the errors involved, and here's how we assess those errors or remove them. One was that picture of the checkerboard pattern, and the other one was, the inversion of the theodolite. And Hippie would keep on coming back to these errors that had already been tested for and or removed. They don't seem to fully grasp what it is that's being presented to them in many occasions.
Well, it's even worse than that. Like I don't know if I'm guessing Toon has the image from DxO Mark. Is that right, Toon?
Which one?
The photo of the grid. Is that from a DxO Mark?
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Yeah, because they quantify everything for lenses.
Yes,
but it's even worse for them because I do a lot of photography. I have a little program called Adobe Lightroom, and when you develop a raw file there's one button you can push if there's lens metadata, and it automatically corrects for all lens distortion. So it's been quantified, all of it, basically.
Hey, MC Toon.
Yes.
I just cracked the code to get more watch time. Morton Nielsen says, I don't really like listening to Hip Hop Hippie, but I will go back and listen just because you moderated.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
By the way, Toon, how did he not understand that it's the lens that makes the distortion? It's not the camera.
It was a straw grasp. That's all he had.
Yeah, and if I was going to ask about things that he didn't understand, I would start with a lot simpler things than that first.
That's actually a good thing because what was the thing with A7R?
Yeah, the one that tested is A7R3.
Yeah, and that has 42 megapixels. So if the more megapixels you have, that actually amplifies lens faults like chromatic aberration and stuff like that. So it would be more evident with more megapixels.
Yep. And to be clear, and so the A7S2 was the camera that Dwayne Callum has versus the A7R3, but
it's better for video.
Yeah. So what he's assuming, he's not assuming, he's putting all of his hopes on the camera body having the difference instead of the lens having the difference. Yeah. So.
And I mean, it does depend, like maybe he turned camera corrections on or off, because I think the A7S2 does have in-body camera lens, it has distortion correction. I'm not sure if it has that, it might.
Okay.
But in any case, when DxO Mark tests them.
Are you being challenged on Rubik's Cube in the background there?
Maybe I am.
I was going to say. I have been working for the last 2 days trying to figure out how to solve this.
The box.
This is about as far as I've come.
I can send you the algorithms to do that.
Yeah.
The
hard part is just because I've had this part solved, and only these 3 needed to be put in place, and I messed it up.
Like my son. My son takes them apart and then puts them back together again.
Well,
I was at MC Toon's place once, and I totally ruined all of his Rubik's Cubes.
Don't worry, I fixed them.
Tony, I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
It's also about something that he said. He used Occam's razor, but correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Occam's razor usually come into play when you have 2 competing models that has equal predictive power? So to use Occam's razor, he'll need to have a model first.
That's exactly right. And his proposed model ignores the physical reality of the rest of the universe. Which doesn't seem like it's a particularly simple postulate. But yeah, you're right. They should have equal ability to explain the observations, and obviously the flat Earth model doesn't.
But what flat Earth model?
Yeah.
They need to have one
yeah.
first.
Yeah, they need to have one, which they've grown allergic to because every time they produce one, we can demonstrate that it's wrong. So
Yeah, and some of them will they will spout the Nathan Oakley rhetoric about it. Models are not reality, but no, yeah, true, they're a model of reality.
yeah,
How come
and-
Team Skeptic enters the chat and I see his background and I want to hit !blue to change the colors?
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, it's
I'm
that
doing
guy.
great. Very
Hey,
nice
team.
to be on stream with you, team.
Oh yeah, it's good to be here. Good to be here.
Who has seen the advertisement we did for Team's Drawing Academy?
Oh,
I
it's
saw
great.
that
That
last
is
night.
That was fucking
awesome.
I missed that. I was.
Oh,
is
MC2,
so-
you have it. It's only
All right.
like a minute.
Yeah,
and a
I'll
half.
You gotta play it.
All right, you guys won't hear it, so don't talk while I'm playing it. You're just gonna have to imagine, or one of you could play it. How about that?
I can play it.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay, let me just get it open here.
By the way, Skeptic, thanks for showing us your boxers last night on camera.
No, those weren't boxers. I was wearing sleeping pants.
I missed Team and
They went to my
boxers.
ankles. No, they went to my ankles. It's boxers. You don't want to
No,
see
no,
me in
no, no,
boxers.
no,
You
no,
want
no.
to see me in briefs for sure.
It wasn't pants. It was boxer shorts. Like, you stepped up, and I think you forgot to turn off the camera, and we just saw your red. What's it called when it has those square
Check.
things? Like, yeah,
Yeah. They're
red
they're,
jacket. Yeah,
Yeah, they're pants. They're pants though.
pants that go to your to the middle of the thighs.
Sometimes I'll hulk out and I don't even realize it.
Okay. Team, I've sent this. So I mentioned in the chat that I'm organising a live stream for this Saturday at 5 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time to celebrate getting to a few hundred subscribers. And I sent you an invitation on Discord, and I've heard crickets.
Oh, man.
Which I'm interpreting as a deeply intentional insult designed to wound me deeply.
Well, not. I mean,
As
not
you should.
deeply.
As you should.
Not deeply, yeah. I don't want to
Just-
injure you forever. I just want to keep you in your place, let you know where you're at in the totem pole. Leave a scar or two on your back, no big deal. I don't want to hurt you forever. You can't do work for me if I hurt you too bad.
Good point. Excellent point.
Tony, I sent you a link in the internal chat here.
Yep.
Even NASA has made some pretty interesting stuff, like getting X-rays from Scotch tape.
Did you find it, Punchy?
Yeah.
Well, share your screen and share your audio and play
Okay.
it.
Everyone ready?
Nice.
It's
Yep.
pretty awesome. Just gonna say. Oh, you gotta let me build a.
Oh yeah, all right. Yep, hold
Mr.
on.
Tune.
It defaults to not letting me do that, and I have to go to advanced sharing options, and then who can share all participants.
Yeah,
there you go. All right, you can do it now.
I know it's bollocks.
This is the best commercial I've ever seen.
Is my favorite commercial of all time as well.
It's gonna make it.
Wow, that was a lot of porn there that I saw.
I
And
know.
weirdly named porn as well.
Well,
I have the ability to read an entire screen with a simple one pixel flash. No big deal.
Okay.
Can the
You guys
audience
ready?
see? Can the audience see?
Yes, yeah, it's already. It's
Real
a
good?
black screen they're looking at right now.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I can put a person here, or maybe a boat here, or I don't know. I suck. No wonder my parents got a divorce.
Can you zoom out a little, Punchy?
Academy. Who?
That's right, Team Skeptic Strong Academy.
Well, it's worth a shot, I guess.
Team Skeptic Strong Academy takes you from zero to hero and pooper to proper. You'll go from vile, disgusting pieces of shit like these to beautiful, magnificent works of art like these. Go now. Supplies a cool hat and a dinger. And for the first 5, no, 10, no, 15 callers, we'll give you a special behind-the-scenes look at how the man himself, Team Skeptic, does his art. He'll show you step by step how he builds all of his things, like, I don't know, I think this is a boat or something.
Oh fuck, am I on screen while I do this?
Strong Academy now and get your parents back together. Join now.
I'm Father Skeptic. You are a fucking
Artist.
Dear, oh dear.
Oh man, that's beautiful, man.
So I just want to do a big shout out because all the music was punchy. He did the guitar,
wow.
he did all the music himself, and he built that advertisement. But that guitar music is punchy playing.
Really?
Oh, nice.
True.
You know what? I just saw that the Bill and Ted's coming out with another movie.
Yes.
Yes.
You just saw that?
No,
I've been geeked about that for.
I saw it a while ago, but it's the first time. I also saw that Tron is coming out. They announced the producer, another Tron. So there you go.
So prepare for copyright strikes on your logo there, Tone.
No, they don't generally do it on stills. It's the videos. If you do it, that's an issue. So, but mine has been heavily modified. It's not. It's the I turned the R into an O. So.
But how much does fair use actually accommodate anymore?
Yes, Brandon Fall. Yes, you got the link. Come join us.
Come on, Brandon. Get up in here, boy.
You said we were scared of you and you could wipe the floor with us. Come on in.
Hey, I have to go take a Riley. So you guys are. I'm gonna trust you to be on your good behavior.
Oh crap!
For
this
a
stream's
while
gonna
here.
burn.
But I can hear you. I can still hear you.
Okay. Can we hear you?
Yeah. But I'm gonna leave my microphone here and not in the bathroom.
Please don't go to the bathroom with the microphone.
I was gonna say we don't want to hear you, Riley.
No.
So who has something to say about EQ mounts now proving a stationary Earth?
Good night. Good night.
I think Punchy has something to say about the EQ mount.
I wanted
proving
to
a stationary Earth.
I actually wanted to talk to Hip Hop Hippie about that because that was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard on all.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
He said that if the heavens moved, there'd be no reason for the mount to move. It's literally a tracking shot. To track something, you move the camera. Like,
by the way, Tony, when you got on camera after that presentation, were you face palming? Because it looked like you had been face palming that entire time.
Yeah. I was face palming. I was down. I forget what it was that he said that sort of set me off, but there were a couple of points where I've just gone, that is so idiotic. Because sort of when we were swapping topics ahead of the debate, I described my topics as stuff like distances are consistent with a spherical Earth. The distances measured on Earth are consistent with a sphere, and the travel times of waves are consistent with a sphere.
Brandon is in the chat again.
Which I thought was good enough to give him an opportunity to sort of present a counter argument, and he sent back stuff like planes prove the Earth is flat.
I actually thought he was going to go with that old argument about the Simon Dan did a video about it the other day. The simulations, the old simulations.
You're right. Okay. I thought he was going to go about how they would have to pull their nose down. So I had some presentations on isobars and planes following isobars and that sort of thing. But it didn't even get to that level of complexity. It was just another, you should be able to see the curve.
And
so Jordan,
you know what's funny about?
I was going to say we could role play this. What you wanted to say to Hip Hop Hippie, because I can do it. I can pretend it. So like, all you got to do is tell me your arguments, and I'll just say, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's not right. Nuh-uh. I got that.
I can kind of.
What's your PhD in?
Sorry,
team.
What's your PhD in? Like what's?
My PhD is in geophysics.
Ah, okay.
You sure it ain't in bullshit?
That too. That was That was the second one.
The one
Team,
that
did you notice that he used the same argument? Team, did you notice his first argument was the same he used against you and Fight with the Felix Baumgartner thing? And he just completely ignored him being shown that the camera's pointing down.
Yeah, I didn't actually see that that part of the debate. Only
Yeah, that was his
probably last 45 minutes to an hour of it. But
it was his first point, and it was the exact same thing. And I called it the moment he said it that like he's gonna bring up Felix Baumgartner again.
Oh yeah, he always does. It says he said something that was really dumb. Well, he said a lot.
Which time?
Are you sure?
There was one time that I caught him contradicting himself so bad. He was like, it was when he was saying when you were saying something about, oh look, we compress the images and there's the curve, and he's like, oh, but all cameras have that, or he said almost literally almost every camera out there has some sort of barrel distortion, but then he turns around and says, every time he says, oh look, it's completely flat, it's completely flat, it's completely flat, like when he was talking about the Felix Baumgartner, he was like, look at the horizon, completely flat. It's like, dude, you're contradicting yourself. You tell us on one hand that when we see curve, it's due to barrel distortion, but then every other time you just look out and go, hey, look how flat it is. It's so flat.
Yeah, that's the problem with flat earthers. It's whatever. That's the problem with any conspiracy theorist. Whatever substantiates their claim, they're like, yep, that's good. Immediately, without question. One second. Immediately, without question, they accept it. But then, when presented with evidence that might in any way destroy their argument, they just nope, that's not true.
Yeah,
and that's it. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna mute and go off camera.
Brandon Fall, I just emailed you the link.
Yeah, so
I'm just screen sharing something that you can see with the difference between pincushion and barrel distortion, because I don't know if is it being shown?
It's shown.
Yeah. We've got various faces that are being distorted in various ways to produce various effects.
Have you ever seen those photos of dogs where like their snout looks like it's a mile long?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's taken with like a wide angle lens, and that's why you don't use them for faces, because it makes it look extremely long. And then when you go to like 35 and 50, it gets a little bit better to look at. And then when you go to extreme telephoto, it's actually squashing the face. But this is to gleam. It's not squashing the face bottom up. It's squashing the entire face.
Can that just squash my whole body?
Yeah, but it will do it in totality. Yeah, so.
You get shorter too.
You'll need a liquefy tool if you need something else.
So, I still need to get to this here. I'm on vacation for 2 weeks, and so I'm like, what can I do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to have Dion Smo 2 weeks from tonight, talking about 5G.
That the guy that was trying to wear like the military grade fucking thing?
No,
that was somebody else.
Okay.
He had a literal tinfoil hat, the guy you were talking about.
That's the guy who eats on his toilet next to his shower.
Yes.
Oh man, that guy was. Oh man, that was the guy. Unfortunately, I felt for his story though, man. That's fucked up.
His story.
He was like, the one where he's talking about his kids feeling the 5G and. Like, could you imagine?
Oh yeah, that was Keith. Yeah,
his whole family must be going through.
Yeah, Keith is a super nice guy. I talk to him still.
He seems cool. He seems pretty cool.
But yeah, he's open to learning, and so I've sent him quite a few things of how to But I think he didn't. He started working. He said he started working when he was 15, full-time jobs. So it probably affected his education. So.
Wasn't that the guy that was talking about what would happen if two emails?
It would start a fire.
They would crash into each other.
It wasn't what would happen. He claimed that it did happen.
Yeah, he claimed that two emails hitting each other made plasma and caused a friend's house to catch fire. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was crazy. All right, so here's the deal. I got a call a while ago. It's, hey, Mikey. Like, oh my, it's my aunt, Hildegard. She's the only one that calls me Mikey. My dad calls me Mike. Most people call me Michael. She calls me Mikey. I'm like, what's that? Oh, just a second. I need to, I'm on hug duty. All right, yes, I'll have a hug. Hold on. They can't see you. You can say hi. Say hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. I said hi back. There you go. You can say, how you doing?
How are you doing?
Say, do you think the earth is flat?
No, because I know that probably
Who's the worst?
think it is.
Yeah, none of them
Who's the worst rapper in the world?
That's good.
Who's the worst rapper in the world?
You.
I am.
All right. All right. Thank you. Good night.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too.
That is heartwarming.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So, all right. Hildegard, Aunt Hildegard calls me, and I'm like, oh no, please don't ask me to do something for your son. But she's like, my son, he needs Corey. He needs some help on his YouTube channel. Can you help him? I'm like, oh. You guys might know him.
Oh. God.
Anyway, McFlatty. So I'm like, all right. She knows we're going on vacation. She's like, he wants to do a live stream. I'm like, oh, no. But all right. So here's what's gonna happen. McFlatty's gonna be on next Tuesday. His stream all night. I'm out. I'm traveling that day, so it's gonna be McFlatty. I have no idea what he's gonna do. I have no idea how he's gonna do anything. All I'm gonna do is give him the stream key. Nothing else. So anyway, be looking for that. Give me his
email so he can give me the Zoom link.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't know what he's gonna do. He might want to debate some people. He thinks he's excellent at debating. I don't know how to get a hold of him for you guys. So send me a message if you think you want to debate McFlatty. So anyway, that's what's coming up in 1 week. In 2 weeks, I haven't scheduled anything yet, but maybe Dion Smo because he owes me.
Okay.
Backing out last minute. And Glober Mom says that must have been one of the youngest of my 33 kids. Yes, that was one of the triplets. Of course, it's 11 sets of triplets.
Yes.
So.
Hey, Toon, I do have to get out of here, man. I'm going to be doing a late night gaming stream tonight, so I got to go get set up and everything like that. But I just wanted to come on and say hi to everybody. So, right.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, team.
Okay.
Good to have
you.
you.
Have a nice night. And
Hi, team. Bye, team.
I've actually got to get going too for my appointment. But thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for coming. It's a treat to have you.
Oh, thanks.
You have
thanks
a wonderful
so much.
night, Tony.
You too. Bye.
Toon, Brandon Fall is asking to get in the chat.
I sent him the link.
Yeah, Brandon, you've got the link. I emailed it to you as well. What's into it's
You just click on the
hold
link.
on. You need Chrome. If you're not going to install Zoom, use Chrome. It doesn't work Mac or Windows. It doesn't matter Mac or Windows. If you're going to be on mobile, I think you have to install Zoom. But just install Zoom. It's free. You don't need to phone in. You just use Zoom, and then that'll get you in and use your computer audio.
It actually didn't let me do it from a window on my computer with Chrome. I had to download it.
Yeah, you have to actually click twice. The second time you click, it'll let you actually do it in the browser. It's trying to push you to use the app. It's much better in the app. But, so yeah.
I'm about to hop off myself because I do have to work in the morning, and I've been sitting here at my computer desk now for like 4 hours. And I'm tired. But I really had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you, MC.
Yeah, thanks for moderating. It was great.
I had a lot of fun. I do want to shill a couple things real quick, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
So Thursday night, the guys are doing the Thursday Thrust show on Sit Down with Debunkers. Last week they started building a Lego rocket. It ended up being Daniel Pratt's water heater for right now, but a rocket will eventually build out.
It's 5 stages. It's the first stage.
But right now it looks like Daniel Pratt's water heater. So join us for that. And then on Saturday we have the Creepy Show, and we have the Plot Hole and JL Warren coming on, and we are going to be discussing the conspiracy theories around the Large Hadron Collider and around CERN. So we're going to be looking into those conspiracy theories and talking about how stupid they are. And then Sunday we have Equality, and we have Jeff Scoop coming back, who is a reformed neo-Nazi, who is going to be continuing the discussion around Reformation and his nonprofit organization that helps get people away from extremism. So that's on Sunday. And then at 5 p.m. after our show, we have Schrodinger's Cat 15K special that I will be on, Punchy will be on, you'll be on. Several people will be on to help celebrate his, he's actually above 17K now, but it's his 15K special. Yeah, he's growing like wildfire. But also, he sent me a message and said, I have to go to bed. Can you please chill out? That Flunchy is going to, and Jack are going to be debating on my channel soon. So Jack and Flunchy will be having a debate coming up on Schrodinger's Cat channel as well.
Because I'm pretty sure on MC Toon's channel last week, Flunchy was arguing with a bunch of guys in the side chat.
Maybe.
He needs to be put in his place.
And
yeah.
Go ahead, Elia.
I was just going to say, and yeah, also this Saturday after the Creepy Show, Mr. Victory on our channel is doing his Let's Do This open panel science and satire show, where you can come on and you can discuss anything from flat earth to, well, one discussion they had was just about food the whole time. So,
That's, I think, how most of them will go.
Yes, so if you want to hear about what guys do while they're doing guy things, watch Thursday Thrust. If you want to see stupid conspiracies be broken apart, watch the Stupidly Creepy Show Saturday. And if you want to watch something that's real, honest, genuine, and in a hard conversation, watch Equality. Okay, I'm done shilling.
All right.
I did a lot of
Oh, and also, I'm just going to say, we are less than 10 subs away from 1,500.
Yes,
if anyone wants to help
10
out.
subs away from 1,500 subs.
And the link's in the chat right now and in the description. So there you go.
Yes, and love you guys. Thank you, MC Toon, again. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you. Bacon Earth, I didn't even get to talk to you, but hi, bye, love you. I'm just giving kisses to everybody. Punchy, I'll talk to you in a minute in text. Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye, Elia.
Can I share? Can I share one more thing?
Sure.
Remember when Hip Hop Hippie? Remember when Hip Hop Hippie said that if you jump on the earth, you don't. It doesn't move beneath you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you see my screen?
Yep, it's up.
How can they play tennis on a moving car on top of it?
Well, because
Mythbusters.
I'll tell you why. Because that thing's not going anywhere near 1,000 miles per hour.
Stop sharing so that it doesn't get copyright. If you don't mind. They stuff like Mythbusters. They probably have auto copyright stuff. Like every time people have done the video of the Red Bull jump, it gets a flag. Yeah, it gets a flag every time. So that was probably fine. So
hopefully Discovery won't flag it for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a great example. Like he doesn't understand conservation of momentum. Basically, in order for his claim to be true, the third law of motion must be false.
Have you ever heard of a pothole of 54?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's a science journalist, and he's been debunking creationist claims and anti-science claims for years. He actually tackled that motionless Earth thing many years ago, and the way he also described this is, if conservation of momentum isn't true, you should be able to step out of a moving train and just land safely on the ground. where you stood, where you stepped out. You wouldn't have any forward momentum pushing you forward.
I wish
Making you
conservation of momentum was true, because I wouldn't have gotten kicked off the four-wheeler earlier and hit the ground at 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, see, if conservation of momentum wasn't true, you would have been fine.
Yeah. I wouldn't be sitting in a way that my back doesn't touch the chair because it hurts.
Well,
Char-
I think
Charlie Charlie says drop tests are interesting evidence that the Earth does rotate. And that is true. It's but that topic is a bit too complicated. It would confuse a flat earther way too much.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. I think when it comes to the whole conservation and momentum thing, it's more because I think when they think of something moving, like in a car, you know, when you stick your hand out the window on the highway, your hand goes flying back, obviously.
Right.
I think they tend to confuse it with that.
Yeah, and
personally, I don't like the fly inside the car thing, because flat earthers always say that, well, it's in an enclosed system, so it doesn't count. Like, I've heard that rebuttal before. Well, attempt at it. That's why I like the Mythbusters clip more.
I have a couple things I forgot. We're back on a couple super chats here, so if you don't mind me doing a couple quick here. We got Tim Pryor for 20 simoleons, says a flat earther called me a liar because he did not believe I went to Antarctica in college and witnessed the 24-hour sun. He said that does not exist, therefore I'm a liar. It amazes me the denial these people go to. And I say this a lot on Facebook chats. Denial is a religious position, not a logical position.
Same thing with truth. Truth is a religious term. It has no bearing in science.
That's true, yeah. That's true. And it's part of our language. That's one of the challenges, right? Both truth and prove we throw around pretty easily when we just have conversations, but it's not a good way to talk when we're being pedantic, right? So when somebody's talking about science, when somebody's talking about science in a conversational way, they'll use the word prove, and then somebody will say, "Oh, well, you just talked about prove, and science. You said science doesn't prove." Yeah, that wasn't a pedantic statement. That was a common parlance statement.
Yeah, it's when you have a conversation about science, you should be using like the actual scientific terms.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to understand for everybody. And that's the bad thing about Danish, because Danish has one word for proof. One. The word for evidence and proof in Danish, it's the same. So it makes it harder in Danish to talk about it.
Oh.
I could see a problem I've always faced is like my brother uses the word theory. He says, I have a theory a lot, and I always try to correct him. I'm like, no, you don't have a theory. You have a hypothesis. You need to go out and do an experiment, and if the experiment is validated, then you might have a theory, depending on like if you did your experiment right and stuff. And then he's just like, well, you know what I mean. Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but you need to use the right terminology. Like, you don't say proof, you say you provided evidence to support. You don't say that your half-cooked idea that you just had in the shower 15 minutes ago is a theory. Half the time, it's not even a stable hypothesis.
Yeah, that's why you'll hear creationists use it like with evolution, say, well, it's just a theory.
And flat earthers do the same thing with gravity.
Yeah. I wonder what they think about cell theory.
Yeah, right. Cell theory.
Anything with theory, they don't understand. Yeah, well, and with this nasty virus going around, they've all rejected germ theory.
Yeah,
they're like, it's not. You can't actually catch a virus. Like, you have a whole mountain to move.
I have a couple of screenshots from Simon Ramos, who I had a conversation with them before. He was claiming that you can't use a telescope to look at a star and tell what the star is because you're looking through a telescope. Well, I said you can't use a microscope to look at a virus. He was like, oh, but you can see viruses and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. And then COVID came, and I pulled out that screenshot, and of course, doesn't acknowledge it one bit.
I mean, technically it is true. You actually can't tell it from just a telescope. You need spectroscopy to tell what the star's made of.
You need to tell what it's made out of, yeah, but like,
and you also need to actually
physical objects.
And don't forget, you need to actually be able to focus the telescope.
Yeah, true.
Whoa!
That's something flat earthers can't do.
Are you saying you can't just get a P900 or a P1000 and just look at something in the sky and then just claim it's fake because it's blurry?
You can
exactly. Like
you can zoom into the moon, which is 5,000 or however far away. I do not want to get that number wrong. But
384,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Or
So
230,000
actually, about that, they're building a telescope right now that has 3.2 gigapixels. It's going to be operational next year, and according to the physicists working on it, when they take a picture, if they take a picture of the moon, they can see a golf ball out at the same distance from the moon. That's how high resolution it's going to be.
So are you telling me we'll be able to show people pictures of the moon landing rover site taken from Earth?
Yes, exactly.
So how quickly or how long will it take for them to call it fake? I'm thinking
immediately.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
Not
So
immediately.
here's the thing. Here's the problem with that. It takes one picture every 10 seconds, and it's 3,200 megapixels every 10 seconds.
It's so much data.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's like a couple of. It's like 10. I think I made a rough calculation. It's gonna be like at least 60 gigabytes per picture.
So, all right, Jose asks, can you please tell me this statement is correct? Basketball players are correcting for rotation. Earth rotating under me jumping. It's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough to bother being corrected with. Brandon is still connecting to audio. Let me get a couple more super chats through here before we get before Brandon. I think this is Brandon failed, but so all right, hold on, Brandon. We'll get you in a second here.
Sorry.
So General E Shady for 2 Australians says Dandelion, get Brandon in, or he's scared. Looks like he's made it. Stringer News 1.
Good.
Stringer News 1 says, why no Rubik's ball? Checkmate Globers. Oh wait. So I have I bought a while ago this Rubik's globe. It's Rubik's World Puzzle. But it's
awesome.
Super difficult to turn. So I can't, it's just like takes forever, and I've not put in the effort to fix it. And I do have this Homer Simpson 2x2 Rubik's Cube I could probably work on. So there you go. Macabre Malefica says super chat because Team Senpai, and he's gone already. Team Senpai. Generally Shady again says Brandon can prove Big Bang fake. Can't use a link. And Morton Nielsen, just a second. Morton Nielsen is a new member, and now Morton Nielsen can use the fancy Carlton dancing or have high IQ research tabs. There we go.
Well, whoever else is their radio on the background makes it really hard to hear.
I didn't make out any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon, that didn't make any sense.
Can we?
Whoever had their radio on the background, it was double speak. My thought that I want to ask you, Tune,
MC Tune,
or Michael. And if you're my aunt, you can call me Mikey.
Yeah, okay.
What was your question?
My question is, okay, is this on my end?
I think so, but
Want to type it in the chat so we can just read it off?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm having problems hearing him. I'm not sure if I'm the only one.
My cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
But excuse me, I guess.
So we can see 93 billion light years, and that's to the left and to the right.
Sure. It's.
We can see the light. We can see the light from the stars. We can see the light from the stars that far away.
If we can only travel at the speed of light, and we're only 14.5 billion years, how do you turn 14.5 into 29, and now we have to triple it? Then
can I take this?
how do you justify that?
Oh my goodness.
Are you drunk?
Right, so hold on.
I think you
restate his question and then verify that you're getting the question right.
Yeah, I want.
Saif, go ahead.
I think he's saying that we can see 90 or 29 billion light years away. So why is the universe? Why do we say the universe is 14.7 billion light years old? I think that's what he's saying.
13.7.
Yeah, 13.7. Is that what you're saying, Brandon?
I think so. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, we cannot see 93 billion light years.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I heard he said 93. I think
Yeah,
I think
don't
he
think
meant
that's right.
I think he meant 29. I think he meant 29 maybe, but he said
No,
93.
Well, I think
So 93 billion light years is the radius of the.
We can
observable-
actually see
Yeah.
93 billion light years.
because I think what he's saying is because the size
In
of the observable universe is
multi-directional.
93 billion years, but it's only 13.5 billion years old. How come we can see that far if light only travels at one
Yeah,
one
I
light
think
per year?
I think Jack has the handle on this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you need to understand is that there's something called cosmic inflation, and so not every point in space is going to be the same distance from us for all time. There was a point right before the singularity, which is where our functions for gravity are undefined. Right after that point, we have a point we call or an interval of time we call the period of inflation. which is where-
Observable universe is 93 billion light years through light.
Hang on, Brandon.
Yeah,
He's answering.
don't interrupt.
Only 14.5 billion years, according to the Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
Which is already
I'll get to the
debunked.
Big Bang Theory in a sec, but let me finish. And so, what was 13.5 billion light years away? Not an object, just a point in space. What was 13.5 billion light years away from where we are now at, say, the start of the universe is going to be much farther away now because space is expanding. And that's literally meaning that the points or the distance between any two arbitrary points will expand and increase over time. Now, the Big Bang Theory is a colloquial term. It's not an actual scientific theory. The more accurate term would be lambda CDM model, or just cosmology in general. There's no, the Big Bang is a term conjured up by a guy who's trying to make fun of cosmology, in the same sense that Schrodinger's cat was basically an ad, or what's called an ad reductio to an absurd argument, which is where you reduce things to such an absurd point that you try and make an argument from that, kind of like a straw man. And Schrodinger's cat was sort of the equivalent of the Big Bang for quantum mechanics, but I'm getting a little off topic now. So what you need to know is that within the lambda CDM model, we have space.
Brandon, don't interrupt.
Brandon,
He's educating you for free. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm having to pay $8,000 a year for this. You're getting this for free, so just shut up and listen. Because the distances between points are expanding, we cannot expect, say, a point that was 13.5 billion light years away to be 13.5 billion light years away right now. Now, if we were to look at...
Oh, you believe NASA does that?
What's that?
NASA. I believe he said you believe NASA.
Do I believe in NASA, as in does the organization exist? Well, sure.
What about ESA or JAXA?
Yeah, or any other space agency. I've visited several. For crying out loud, I've spoken to several astronauts before at conventions at my university. But that's sort of besides the point. All you need to know is that the Big Bang was something that was conjured up to try and make fun of the lambda CDM model, which just became a colloquial term that grew in popularity. And
you said the words that it was conjured up. So
Yeah.
No, the name, the term.
Yeah, the name was conjured up by a guy.
Try to keep up here. Try to keep up.
To point out how he thought cosmology was wrong, and then popular media sort of ran with it, and now it's the colloquial term for cosmology. The Big Bang, if we were to try and apply that to actual physical models, refers to a point in time where our functions for gravity, the field equations by Einstein, are undefined.
Science.
Did you understand that, Brandon?
I understood that. I understand science very well, and I understand mathematics very well. I've gone through all of it.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Tell me,
What's
what is
an accretion disk?
Sine of x with respect
Hold
to
on.
x?
Let's stick with Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I went through all of it up until into college for a little ways, but
That's
do you
pretty early on,
expect
mate.
me to go into like trigonometry?
What's the definition of
I
linear
mean, are you kidding
transformation?
me?
Because the other guy that was on Hip Hop Hippie, he seems to think that if you compress an image, it can introduce curvature. I said that's not true because it's a linear transformation.
I don't know.
You study math, tell everyone right now, what is the definition of a linear transformation? Go.
1 + 1 = 69. Fucked your mom.
Why?
Troll.
Are you drunk, Brandon?
I think Brandon's drunk.
Want to go into every single option of math, then you're just being an asshole.
You said you study math extensively. This is first year university stuff. Some people learn it in high school and they're natural.
Wait, Jack. Let's do it this first. Brandon, what are the internal angles of a triangle with the sides 1, 1, and 1?
I apologize. I didn't hear you.
What are the internal angles of a triangle with sides 1, 1, and 1?
Well, you're talking in triangle, 180 degrees. But what do you have?
Each of the individual angles.
If the sides are 1, 1, and 1.
Are you giving me a trick question? Because that doesn't.
No, it's actually not a trick question.
Basic.
You said you know
How about
math.
this? How about this? All the sides are the same size, and you have 180 degrees in a triangle.
Well, yeah. Well, it's 60. What?
Eh?
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
good.
All right.
Okay, how about this?
You're
How do you
looking for-
convert meters to kilometers?
Meters to kilometers?
Yes, if I had 1 meter and I wanted to represent that in kilometers, what would I do?
Multiply times 1,000.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh.
Ouch.
No, see,
I don't know. I don't use kilometers.
Okay,
Oh,
I have a okay. What is 5 divided by 0?
0.
Did you say 0?
Yes, 5 divided by 0.
Yeah, you don't divide anything by 0. It's
Good,
gonna be
good.
0.
Are you? No, it's not gonna be 0. It's gonna be.
Okay, whatever.
It's a syntax error. You can't divide by 0.
No. Actually, it's the universe will end if you divide by 0. But whatever.
I thought that's if you cross streams.
Are you trying to debunk me for the fact that I told you guys something that you
Here's the
can't
thing.
explain? That's what-
You said you studied. No,
Here's the
Brandon,
thing.
hang
You
on.
can't
Brandon,
One
explain
second.
what I brought up to you, so you're trying to debunk me with.
No. You said you studied math. If you studied math, these questions would be extremely easy for you. If you studied math, these questions are trivial. Like, I teach the dividing thing to 5th graders, 10-year-olds.
Yeah, and because where I live, we use metric, and so obviously you divide by 1,000. I learned place values back in the 2nd grade.
And guess what? Whoop whoop! I know, bud. All right, bring it up to me.
What? All right, here I have one. Here we go. We've got a triangle right here. Let me get it so you can see it, right? And you got here 4 on the bottom, 3 right there. All right. What's this angle? And that's 90, obviously, right there. What's this angle? How are you going to figure out this angle right here?
Oh, now you're stepping it up to like 8th grade math.
This is 8th grade math. So if you graduated high school, you have no excuse. What's this angle
I
here?
didn't hear a word.
Okay, do you see? Do you see the screen? I'm holding up. I have a triangle. 3, 4, 90 degree. Right? What's this angle? How are you going to figure this angle right here?
I gotta try and get back to that.
Try to get back to what?
I think you muted yourself mid-sentence, Brandon.
Michael, when you're done with them, I want to show him one.
So
He's dropped.
he knows math, but he gets angry at extremely simple questions.
Here, can I share one?
He's not here anymore.
Oh.
But Rags, for $5, is saying, Jack, we need to stop for a moment and address the color of your room.
It's purple.
The back wall there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very pretty.
I don't know.
Purple.
I'm colorblind. It's all gray to me.
I used to.
That's not how colorblindness works.
No, it's not. I really am colorblind.
Same.
It's not.
June,
it's not great.
This is what you do. This is how I game. With a fabulous. Okay. Oh shit! I think I just crashed something.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
my
gonna get going because it is almost 11:30 here and I have to be at work in the morning. So.
All right.
It was fun to come and just laugh for a little bit.
Thank you, Punchy.
Well, thank you for having me on, as per usual.
All right. We'll see you later.
I will see you guys later.
Later, Punchy.
Save some ketchup chips for me.
Oh, I was going to say, actually, before I leave, I will be at the Minneapolis airport in November. I'll leave some chips to security, so you can just go pick them up whenever, okay?
I'll swing by.
Don't save any ketchup chips for me. Eat them all.
Can you eat
No.
Can you eat some chips?
Okay.
Can I eat some chips right now?
Yeah. Eat one for eat one for Punchy.
Eat one for Punchy. All right. And he's already gone, but that's okay. Ugh.
It's like pouring out for your homies. You pour one out for the Punchy.
They don't. They smell the same as when they were new. Ooh, here's a big one. Look at that.
I actually had a question in the chat. I think it was like a couple of streams ago. How old are they? Some say 6 months, some say 9 months.
That one tastes like onion. The date says.
I don't think it's supposed to taste like onion.
Let's see. The date says best. Well, it's in French too. Best before 2020 March 01. Let me see if you can get that on the camera there. 2020 March 01. So March 1st is the best before date. He bought them in early March.
So they're like 5 months too old by now.
Yeah, that's
Brian
the
wants
best
to tell me
before
something.
date.
Brian M. Batcher has something to say to Jack. So tag me and I'll read it out. Or I think Jack got Jack's attention. Ilya Moon for $2 says has a sticker that says game over. Yes, Jordan was gonna come in and wipe the floor with us, and he can't do basic math. Or what basic?
And he gets mad at. He studied math and gets mad at simple math questions.
I thought he was on the right track, and I was gonna be surprised when I said, "What's linearity?" And he said 1 plus 1. I'm like, oh, he might actually be onto something here. And then he goes 1 plus 1 equals 69. F your mom, like, oh.
He has to be drunk or something.
Yeah.
Like,
a troll does what a troll does.
Yeah.
It's. So anyway, Tim, this is about as far as I can get regularly. Oh wait, I do have one mess up.
Yeah, you can get the top row, or the top side, and then the rows around, right?
Yeah.
There's 4 algorithms to do the bottom, and I'll send them to you.
Yeah, because somebody had one at a house I was at, and I was like, I want to figure out how to do that. So I went to the store, I bought one, and This thing's been driving me crazy for about 3 days now.
So I have on my website, I have this cube, and I have a 4x4 as well. Links to like some of the things I refer to often. mc2.net/stuff. I have the book that I always refer to on photography called Understanding Exposure. I have the book from Feynman, 6 easy things and 6 difficult things. I forgot. 6 not so easy things. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like that cube is like a real Rubik's cube, which kind of suck.
This is an actual Rubik's cube. That's the only thing they had at the store.
Yeah, they're tough. This is a pretty good one. It's from China.
Yeah, that's something I notice a lot. I'll notice that like I'm pulling it apart and like other parts will start twisting and bending, and it's like it's about to pop apart, and I'm just like, I don't remember them being such crap.
So Rags has a very good point. He says, to be fair, I probably can't do basic math. I forgot all the math I learned in school, but I'm not an idiot. That's a great point. You don't need to know the math, but here's the deal. If you're going to claim the Earth is flat, you need to be ready to back that up with math, because it's a geometric claim. You need to be ready to do the geometry. So things like triangulation like this is pretty simple to do in the scheme of doing math. You're not taking a derivative or an integral or doing a summation or, matrices or anything like that. It's just trigonometry, a couple basic rules, SOHCAHTOA, law of sines. There you go. Pythagorean theorem. You got it.
Brian, he got back to me and said, Jack, you were my inspiration for the trolling I did of Keith on FTFE's birthday stream.
Oh.
What did he do to troll? I kind of want to know. I want to know what my hand was up for this. I don't think I'd make a very good inspiration for anything, because I usually just sort of get sidetracked with ideas, like when I went to Schrodinger's cat, which I really shouldn't have, but
So it was he M, right? Is that who he was?
Yeah.
Yes, M, he was, yep. Trolling of Keith Ivan Williams, I think was his name. So heat shield. This is all you need for the cube in any starting configuration. It requires a bit of explanation. UR, UR, UF, 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 UR, UR, FRU, RUF. I'm not going to keep reading it. There's a way of writing that down. So
I know U means the up face, R means the right face.
Yeah, it's whether it's a rotation is clockwise or counterclockwise. So
yeah, I was gonna say I don't see like any R prime or anything, so I have no idea what to do with any of that. The algorithm I learned, it's basically the same 2 steps over and over and over. I just keep doing the steps wrong or something. I don't know.
Like I said, I'll send it to you. So let's see. You had Jordan at the beginning of the last stream. I sent out the link for the GoFundMe. Do you want to say something about that? I'll put it in the chat again here.
My grandmother actually, well, she's not my biological grandmother, but she's my biological grandfather's wife. I've known her for many years. She was a wonderful woman. She unfortunately passed away I think it was actually just last night. She passed away, and unfortunately, nobody in the family was even partially prepared for it. The sickness came, it hit her, and it took her overnight, and we have no way of doing any type of funeral service or anything. So we're just trying to get any money that we can to go towards this. Even a cremation is going to be upwards of $1,000. So as long as I'm getting the link for it right now, but anything you guys can provide would be incredibly helpful. It's just incredibly unfortunate loss that's affected my grandfather, my mom, both both of their children, it's just everybody's saddened, and we're just trying to rally around it. So, like I said, anything you guys can provide would be incredibly helpful.
Turn your head towards the mic.
Oh yeah, I'm getting the link for it right now. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I put it in the chat just a second ago, so.
Oh yeah.
There we go, people. I'll do it again so people don't, because it scrolled off.
Just like I said, I'm not expecting any huge donations or anything, but we're just trying anything we can to give her a proper send off, you know.
Yep. Yeah, when it comes quick like that, yeah, it certainly can.
And they're not even sure what it was. She just felt sick and went into the doctor, was unconscious the next day, gone the next, and yeah. It's a really somber moment in my house, so I'm just really appreciative that I can get on here and laugh at stupid people with you guys.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you on. Glad you can come on and just get a little bit of fun. So
take a load off for a while.
Let's see. Small Time Art for $5 says, as a former art student with dyscalculia, even I understand how the Earth can't possibly be flat. Ain't never been one for no book learning. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's you have to accept things, right, and not start with a conclusion.
Data is not just cartoons.
What's dyscalculia? Is that just dyslexia with numbers? Because I think I actually might have that.
It's I think it's more than just numbers. It's more about being able to visualize things in three-dimensional space.
Severe difficulty in making arithmetic calculations as a result of games.
So maybe not just geometry or three-dimensional. Yeah.
So I may have dyscalculia because, I mean, anything after the order of operations, if, like, once you start throwing in compounding variables and, like, the sine of X and stuff like that, I'm just like, that's why I have a calculator for.
Yep. And you can, the thing is, you can just Google triangle calculator. There's hundreds of them.
Right.
I'm actually pretty sure that Brandon was Googling when we asked him the triangle question, because it sounded like he was typing.
He was typing. Oh, poor guy.
So,
I don't have a problem with people Googling things. Like, even when I'm doing my homework, I have to Stack Exchange a lot of the steps. But at the very least, if you're gonna claim to be an expert on something and study it a lot, you have to be able to back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I asked him, because he said that he studies math, and then he should be able to answer those questions like in his sleep, basically.
I was excited. I was about to ask him what Noether's theorem was, because he said he studies science as well, but I didn't get a chance before he left.
He doesn't know. They never know. They claim they know. Like that Keith Ivan Mitchell, he was talking smack on Facebook about people not knowing math. And I brought up a triangle, and I'm like, how do you solve this? He's like, I don't know. You can't talk smack about math if you can't do math.
Yeah.
You know that other Keith the flat earther Keith you had on with Tony? Didn't you notice that he contradicted himself with the ice wall? Because when Tony showed him one earthquake, he said that the ice wall reflected the waves, and then another earthquake, the wave propagated through the ice wall. So it showed two properties in it.
Keith said that?
He basically described.
Yeah,
he
wasn't
properties
that wasn't on my channel, but yeah.
Are you sure? That was with you, PhD Tony, and then only Keith, the flat earther. I think it was the first time you talked to him.
Has Tony been on here more than tonight?
It could have been with a fight.
Maybe he
actually.
was talking
Yeah.
about Dion Snow, or
No, it was Keith. It was the guy that
it was
that
Keith?
Toon had talked to, but it might have been on Fight of Flat Earth.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was on FTFE because FTFE did have Tony and Keith on, and I did not. It was Keith stuck around for the after show and then kept talking after the. I actually handed the Zoom
Yeah.
call over to somebody else, and
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
had to
that
take
wasn't.
over that Zoom call.
Yeah, but that wasn't. Yeah, I don't think Tony was on. So
It was just one thing that should be.
yeah,
told to
so
people like him,
Brian
like,
Brian
people
Batcher
that are
says
questioning, like,
he said it during our debate. So that was when it was on FTFE.
yeah.
Yep.
But the thing is that, like, if you're doubting, when you have to contradict yourself to make it fit, it has to show that shows something.
Well, and Hippie did it tonight. He said all lenses are have distortion, and then he tried to use a lens without any external quantification.
His exact words were, "All lenses have barrel distortion," which is
It's
completely
not true.
false.
Or pincushion
I think he has that from
distortion.
Gleam. I think that was from that's from
Oh.
like Gleam's thing. Like when you talked to Gleam and he had that presentation, he also cited that study.
Yeah. Gowden's Riper says, "First, these days are worse and worse. We're at the bottom of the barrel." The Flurfs are always the bottom of the barrel. None of them have ever been able to do anything. There are a few on tfes.org that actually try to use math and science. They put in an effort and they have some understanding of it, and so they're trying to shoehorn flat Earth into it. So one of the things that's necessary for flat Earth is because the sun could never set, right? If light travels in straight lines, which it doesn't, then the sun could never get low. It does bend slightly down, which makes things appear slightly higher in the atmosphere. Not much, but if you have extreme conditions real close to the surface, it can. So they, where was I going with that? Oh, so the Flat Earth TFES.org, they know that, and so they invented. This happens in science. They invented something. They said, "Oh no, let's assume that light bends upward," and they call it universal acceleration. That light is always being caused to bend upwards. So that would then cause things to potentially be. It doesn't explain it well, but
Right.
it would sort of be able to make it so that the sun would appear to set, because if it bends upwards, it would make things appear lower. So as something went farther away, it would appear lower. But they miss things, simple things, like let me draw this.
I think this comment from Astronomy Live has to be said now. That he's arguing with a flat earther who insists that his telescope, made in the mid-90s, is projecting fake HD images of the space station.
Wow.
Is Astronomy Live in the chat?
Yeah, he's in the stream chat.
Oh, you should get in here, Astronomy Live. I've already met Reds. I haven't met you.
There's actually a pretty good video that I found from Thunderfoot. It's like 10 years old now. Whenever somebody like Hip Hop Hippie says that the stars and planets are just lights in the sky, Thunderfoot captured Jupiter doing a full rotation, and you can see its moons orbiting. I don't think lights in the sky behave like that.
Yeah, it's just their way of blowing it off.
Yeah. See, the problem with Flat Earth, the problem that Flat Earth has always had, and that they always will have, is that you can either not make assumptions and just, you can either not make claims and just assert that the Earth is flat, or you can make claims, try to back them up, and realize that they're wrong.
And I've heard one thing I've heard some flat earthers use these past 1 or 2 months is the geocentric model, but I don't think they realize that the geocentric model is a globe.
Still a sphere,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Space still exists in the geocentric model.
So let me show you something here. This is something they never got very well. It's all right. So you got the sun there, and you've got the observer on the ground and the observer on a mountain, right? So I will draw light bending up to block the sun.
Is this like some concave Earth stuff?
No, this is flat Earth stuff here. They make the same claim, concavers do. But you can see here, if this is the path of the sun, or the path of the light, you see it's curving up, and it hits the ground there. And so the observer doesn't see it, right? The problem is that the person on the mountain would see the sun. My drawing isn't super great, but would see the sun after it's set, and even though they're farther away from the sun, they would have to see it. Higher elevation would bring it back into view, which it does, but it's not to
the extent.
No,
that
not
it
to the
would.
extent. Yeah, and so you could always bring it back into view with more elevation. Always, which doesn't work. So basically, like from high mountains, the sun could never set then. So
Right.
they don't solve the problem.
And that's not even mentioning the problem of the change of the angular size of the sun.
No, I don't remember what their lame excuse is for that. They don't try to use the right. Basically, all the YouTube flurries are saying that the atmospheric lensing makes it appear bigger as you go farther away. Magically, it's the same size as you get farther away, so it's perfectly tuned atmospheric lensing.
Tune, have you ever talked to followers of the Lord Stephen Christ?
Oh yes, the concavers. Hey, Astronomy Live.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey,
what's up,
Stephen Christ's followers are they are concave earthers, but they're like even more crazy. Like they believe that he is the second coming of Christ.
Yep.
Who is in jail for threatening the president.
Yeah, and
twice.
they say, "Do you have evidence that he's in jail?" So I interviewed one of the early Coffee with a Flat Earther interviews I did was not with a flat earther, was with a concaver. I forgot his name. He's a nice guy, but yeah, very mistaken. So, Astronomy Live, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm calling in from bed here. I was headed off to bed, and as I often do and shouldn't do, I check my notifications on YouTube before I go to sleep. I see a flat earther commenting on one of my old ISS videos, insisting that my telescope is somehow projecting fake HD images of the station directly into the camera from the telescope tube, using its whopping 128 kilobyte memory chips that were built in the 90s.
In the telescope.
Microraptor actually has a good question. Is that even possible? Because like my telescope is completely analog. There's no electronics in it.
No,
Isn't that like how most telescopes work? Like most telescopes are like that.
Oh yeah, no, he insists all telescopes have databases in them to do this, which is stunning since some people make them at home and grind their own mirrors and put their own Dobsonian telescopes together and then track the space station by hand. Like that's the most common type of station video that I see, or station images that I see other people
Or Jupiter.
hand tracking.
Yeah,
Even the 1 hour time lapse of Jupiter, you can see some spin.
my grandpa has been an amateur astronomer for literal years, so like I don't understand like every single one of his, and he does most of his calculations analog. He actually told me recently that he's been coming to the technological side of things and using calculators. He said it makes this stuff so much easier. Yeah, It does the calculations for you. It's a calculator.
Like,
So
just
he's-
imagine like how easy it is now. When Tycho Brahe did his observations, he spent like 10 years on a secluded island in the middle of the sea, just looking at the sky.
Right.
Was Tycho Brahe the guy that lost his nose in a duel?
Yeah.
Good guy.
and the Danish king didn't want to fund his island anymore, so he had to move to Czechoslovakia.
So yeah, so Astronomy Live, you're that's amazing, that technology that they have in that telescope of yours.
You'd think with the technology and the telescopes, they could use that technology to just go to the moon.
Yeah, it'd be easier to just go.
Like,
You know,
instead of putting like 20, 30, 40-year advanced microchips in every mass-produced telescope, why don't we just build the ISS?
and I fully disassembled that telescope a couple of times. I replaced the motherboard in it twice, and I've never seen any evidence of anything going into the telescope tube. Everything terminates at the motors.
Right.
And like
Oh, yeah.
like you guys pointed out, not even all telescopes have motors to begin with. A lot of them don't. And like I said, you know, probably the most common images of ISS I see are hand tracked with a simple Dobsonian or something similar that's purely mechanical with no electronic parts whatsoever. You know, and as far as the tracking software I use goes, I wrote that myself. I wrote the tracking software, and it's not obviously.
You're obviously
faking
a
images.
NASA shill.
Yeah.
Obviously, I must
obviously.
That claim is somehow more extraordinary than the claim that Simon Ramos made when I brought up the time I saw the ISS the first time with my grandpa. He asked me if I touched it, if I smelled it, if I tasted the light coming off of it. So since I only saw it through, like, I that's still a horrible one, but it's not as freakishly outlandish as claiming that there was HD video in the 90s and even before that, because high quality telescopes have been being mass produced for, I'd be willing to guess, over 100 years, you know?
Do you think
I
about
don't know.
if you actually like figure out the ramifications of those claims, right? That
Right.
telescope needs to know where it is on Earth, built in the 90s, before GPS was publicly available. I guess if NASA could, if it existed, then NASA could do it. GPS existed, but unless you had permission from the government, they didn't give you the decryption so that you could get accurate positioning. So it's got to have that. Then it's got to have accurate angulometer sensors to know which way it's pointing, and then pull that database from the 90s, which has to be a very large hard drive or array of hard drives, because in the 90s you didn't get terabyte hard drives.
Right.
And then have a projector to project that into the eyepiece somehow in a way that normal people who are going to just take it apart themselves could not discover. That's amazing.
Oh, MC Toon,
It's
I'll
worse.
give them.
It's actually worse. The ISS needs boost backs, so its orbit changes, so it needs to be live updated as well.
Right.
Well, that's just
remotely.
what I was about to say, because I'll give them the fact that the telescope knows where it's pointed, it knows where it is on Earth, because the user is supposed to provide that information. The user is supposed to provide your location, at least to the nearest minute of arc, which really isn't good enough, but let's just give it to them. And yeah, you have to align it on the star so it knows where it's pointed. So it knows all those things. It also has a clock. You have to keep that updated. But even with all of that, it would have to know where the space station is. And if you're not connecting it to anything, how is it going to update its database? It didn't have Wi-Fi back then.
Well, obviously, all of the ISS positions had been planned out. The fake positions had been planned out in the 90s and pre-programmed into this database.
Well, that's not a problem with orbital mechanics, but orbital mechanics isn't a
Drag.
thing on flat Earth, so like
With an orbital drag, its position is somewhat random and unpredictable after a few days.
Is it?
I have a question for Jack, by the way. You studied physics, right?
I'm studying physics right now.
Yeah. Did you? Are you learning classical mechanics?
I had to learn that. Yeah.
Yeah. And is that based on Einstein or Newton, by the way? Just
Okay.
curious, because apparently flat earthers say that Einstein debunked Newton totally. Newton is the
Yeah,
only way.
Snap the Wand in 2, I believe is the. I think
Jack,
Riley.
So Jack, what is classical mechanics?
Okay,
I failed it, by the way. I
very
failed it, by the way.
simple terms, is anything that's not relativistic or quantum. If you ask a physicist, they might say you might be able to slip relativity in there because it was originally based on electrodynamics and in moving frames of reference. But for all practical purposes, as someone who's not studying physics, just consider anything that's not relativistic or quantum as classical. And that's not just Newtonian mechanics. We also have like electrodynamics with Maxwell's equation as well.
Quantum chromodynamics?
Actually, we didn't have that in mind. That was just purely learning how to derive how to use the differential equations and derive them for everything. We didn't actually have electrodynamics in our when I had it.
I have to learn now, which I don't like wave equations, but I kind of have to.
I have a quick question for Astronomy Live.
Yeah.
Also, what do you think about that new Vera C. Rubin observatory, the 3.2 gigapixel telescope and sensor they're developing?
To be honest, I'm only vaguely familiar with it. I kind of know what you're referring to, but I've kind of had my eye off that ball for a little bit, so I can't really comment on the specifics of it. But I've heard stories about that. Yeah, about this.
Do you think it's cool that like they had to build a 5-foot diameter lens for it and then custom build a 3.2 gigapixel sensor and how much it will be able to see?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely cool. Some of these mega telescope projects that are in the works now are really cool. I've got a friend from college who went on and is doing optics professionally now, and he's working, I believe, on the oh boy, I'm gonna get the name wrong. It's going into Chile. I believe it's the Magellan telescope. I'm probably screwing up
that's
the name.
Actually
right
also
now.
where the
multiple mirrors.
That's also where the Rubin telescope is going. That's also going to Chile.
Yeah, the multiple mirrors. It's one of these mega telescopes with segmented mirrors and all that. And so a friend of mine from college is working on the optics for that, which is, or at least he was.
That's
Pretty
awesome, actually.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
What's the
thing that I think?
I can't read that username.
The thing I think, what I think is cool about it is like I am a camera nerd, and the fact that they can build like I think it's over a ton of like a single lens. They have to build it. Yeah, one tiny flaw in that lens, and it's completely ruined. Like the engineering going into building one single piece of glass that big is that's pretty incredible to me, at least.
Yeah, that's some high stakes work there. I wouldn't want to be responsible for that personally, but that's it is remarkable.
Like when they unveiled it to put it into the assembly, when they lifted up the lid for it, it was like 1 centimeter per minute or something. Like it was extremely slow because if they hit the lens, it would be ruined.
Wow.
I mean, I just like big glass for some reason.
So, Vera Rubin is funny that this is the paper that she published about the galactic rotation issue, and it was sent to me when I had my first debate with Gleam, because he thought that citing galaxy rotation was evidence for flat Earth somehow, because
that's actually let me guess, it's that the spiral arms of the galaxy should have spun out by now.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
so since
It's an
gravity
old creationist claim.
Yeah, since gravity failed, which it didn't, but since he's asserted that gravity failed. Since gravity failed, gravity doesn't exist and the Earth is flat. So a little bit.
It's actually funny. Like some of these claims that they are bringing out now, they're like,
oh,
it's creationist claims that were debunked like 10 or 15 years ago at least.
Yeah. There's a guy today on Facebook that put a picture of Mount Everest and other things, saying from super high altitude, saying you can't see the curve. Of course, they didn't mention that the picture was taken on the ISS. So you're trying to suggest that that orbits are not possible by showing a picture from something in orbit.
It's also funny that they think that one picture on an extraordinary day proves anything, because if it was flat, wouldn't we see those things all the time?
Yeah, you'd see it every day. So I have something. I do have a question for Jack.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna let's see. So I'm gonna record this because it's for video.
Okay.
And I'm making several assumptions here, and so we'll find out if I'm right. So nobody else talk until I'm done with this part here. Let's see.
Sure.
All right. So Jack, there is a company. In China, and well, first, Jack, can you explain your background and your knowledge of the Chinese language?
I can speak it. I can't really write or read.
Okay, but so you understand pronunciation.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, so there is a Chinese company that makes cell phones and cell phone hardware that runs runs the towers and stuff. What is the name of that company?
Huawei.
Okay. And so if you were going to be maybe the head of the largest marketing arm of Vodafone, would you, and you were in, talks with them regularly, would you know the correct way to pronounce that name?
I would hope that they have a very good attempt.
Yeah. So do you think that it would be a little bit rude and disingenuous to be an executive for Vodafone and not know the correct way to pronounce the name of the company for one of your large vendors?
If they make an honest attempt, but it's just the accent that's off, then I wouldn't mind so much. If they completely screw it up, then I have to question how much effort they're putting in.
Yeah, so maybe, for example, let's say somebody who claimed to be a Vodafone executive said that the name of that company was Highway. Would you believe that person had ever used the name of that company in the day-to-day workings of their business?
No, even if we're gonna go by Western mispronunciation, I would expect something like Huawei or Huawei or something like that, not Highway.
Not Highway. Okay. Thank you. That's all.
How do you say it in Chinese, by the way? I always say Huawei.
Yeah, Huawei, that's right.
So the reason why I ask, there's a guy there's an audio recording of a guy claiming to be a former executive from Vodafone, and you start listening, and real quickly you figure out, he doesn't have any clue about the actual technology. He's getting all sorts of things wrong, and then he kind of, during the second half, he just spirals into stuff being super wrong, because at the first I'm like, maybe he was in charge of marketing, right? But then there's just too many things that are way off. Turns out this guy was not the head of the unit. He was hired to do marketing for less than a year, and that was it. And he came into some sort of a meeting claiming to have been the head of the largest business unit of Vodafone, and mispronounced Huawei multiple different ways. He He not just one way, but he offered multiple different mispronunciations of it. Never, Jack, the way you pronounced it. And so if I'm going to go into a meeting with somebody at work, I'm going to try to get the name of their company right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a conversation I had with a guy who claimed that there was no viral outbreak in Wuhan. And he says he lived there. You know, he was at ground zero and there's no quarantine, there's no lockdown, everything's fine. And the funny thing is, he has a link to his like tiny YouTube channel with 50 subscribers, probably his close friends.
Yep. And
I'm listening to him talk, and he mispronounces the city Wuhan. He says Wuhan, but he's lived there for supposedly 10 years. I'm saying, like, you live there for 10 years, but you still can't even get the name right.
If you live there for 10 years, you're going to pick up a little bit of the language.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be like if somebody says they lived in London, England for 10 years, and he pronounces it Lunduin or something like that.
Rags says the Chinese government would probably lock you in a labor camp for mispronouncing Huawei.
Oh, that reminds me of something funny, because, like, you know how Trump just banned TikTok in the U.S.?
He's not quite yet. But,
how's that going? How's that going for him, by the way?
Well, I think what he's trying to get Microsoft to buy him is what he's trying to do. But so he didn't ban them, and he can't actually ban them. I don't think he has the authority to do that. But what he's done is he said
it's so easy to install it on Android if you want it.
Yeah, but
like,
what
you
he's
can just download it.
What he's saying is to people, and this hits. I think this would hit TikTok pretty hard. Anybody that does business with TikTok, then they can do the American government can sever relationships or take them off of vendor lists or things like that. So other companies in the U.S. are like, hey, we need, we sell stuff to TikTok, so TikTok figure something out. So anyway, yeah.
It made me laugh because a lot of people are saying, oh, it's for the benefit of the Chinese, blah blah blah. It's for their government, it's for their people to spy on us. And I'm sitting here thinking, because I've been to China before, I know how their laws work, and they have a social ranking system for companies that have societal benefit, as they say. Now, how well do you think TikTok is received by the Chinese government? They get fined heavily. And so when people are saying it's just, it's something that's propped up a proponent of the Chinese Communist Party, it makes me laugh because they get crapped on by the Chinese government.
Yeah. That's not the, yeah. Well, the Huawei hardware they've said is potentially can be grabbing stuff. That's much more likely. It's critical, it's infrastructure that gets a huge amount of data.
Yeah.
Stuff like that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about this. I have no idea about whether it's true or not, but I know stuff like that has happened.
The Chinese government takes data, but it makes me laugh when people say that a certain company is a proponent of a government that shits on them every single day.
Yeah.
And most of its user base is overseas, or at the very least, most of its useful user base is overseas.
Yep. So. All right. Well, Astronomy Live, you still sleeping?
Almost.
Or not yet?
Quite. Not yet. Yeah. I'm still waiting on Mr. Flat Earther to accept my invitation to come on to my next ISS tracking live stream so he can see it for himself in real time, and I can prove to him that irrefutably that it is actually real live video, not fake. But surprisingly, he's turning down my invitation. All efforts to invite him on the live webcast.
I like,
just like flat earthers going to rocket launches. It's like they don't want to test their beliefs.
I wish that I could trick people into thinking I was a flat earther, because I would take Red's Rhetoric's the offer he makes damn near every flat earther he talks to. I would love to go down to Florida and watch a rocket launch with Red's Rhetoric. Me too. That would be my dream.
Like, okay, so I my kids also like space stuff, and we watch rocket launches sometimes live. And the sad thing is, the first rocket launch I showed them, it was an unmanned mission, but it blew up.
Yeah,
it's not so good.
Right.
It's something you can't fake. It's impossible to fake, because you feel it take off. You feel the heat on your face.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard that from Reds as well. Like
it's-
you can feel the shock wave.
Yeah, it is not something that you can fake for the huge numbers of people that are standing there. If you're gonna make claims, that's not the claim to make.
But Tune, boats in the
I will be right
boats,
back, guys.
boats prove it to be CGI.
Oh.
Remember, that's Russian bits. Remember that Astronomy Live?
Oh,
boats
yes.
prove it to be fake. Yeah.
Yeah, we added the boats because we wanted to make it look more real or something, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not quite sure on that.
And the cow thing as well. That was he's a special fella.
After I had him on, just a second. After I had him on here last time, I sent him an email thanking him, and basically said, "You should stop lying to people. You're misleading them and can cause harm." He didn't reply to that email, but just treated him as if we knew. You're just faking stuff, man. You don't believe it.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. And yet, none of these people, like you said, that they'll never accept an invitation to come out and see it for themselves in person, because then they'd have to admit they were wrong.
Yeah.
And apologize, and they just won't do it. So, at best they'll go the oh gosh, what was that guy's name? I forget, but the guy who wanted to confront Red with a fisticuffs or after the launch. He wouldn't show up in time for the launch. But he wanted to show up after for fisticuffs.
That was Southern Israelite, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the name. That was the name. Southern Israelite. Yeah, that was the one.
Trigger Tits, the guy that says it's a fallacy to ask for evidence.
Yep.
I'm not joking. He said that to Reds.
Yeah.
It's a fallacy to ask for evidence.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
No, that's not the craziest thing I've heard yet.
No?
No. My craziest was my first debate on your channel where some guy didn't understand that if you go 360 degrees on a circle, you'd end up on the same spot.
Yeah, but talking degrees, that's not what normal people can handle.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
you
true,
need
true.
to do something that's not in degrees, because normal people can't handle.
Yeah, he says, I don't do degrees, I only do miles. I'm a simple man, I can't think in degrees.
You want to know my favorite debate quote?
Go for
That's
it.
actually from you. That's actually from you, Tune. And now I've forgotten who you were talking to, but you kept saying we measure rotation in degrees or radians per unit time, and he kept saying what is it in miles, and he just couldn't understand it.
Was that my debate? Because I recall that kind of back and forth.
You might have been there. I don't remember
Joey
exactly who it was.
Rocha, and I went over that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't handle understanding that.
And you went on for like a good 10 minutes saying the same thing, and he just couldn't understand it.
Yeah, he's not smart enough, and that's the dyscalculia. He doesn't comprehend. Some people think he's a Poe. I don't know. He teaches his kid that, so I don't think that's Poe behavior. He doesn't understand, and flat earthers, that anytime you hear them say it rotates 1,000 miles an hour, you know that they don't understand math, because anybody who understands math knows rotation is measured differently than linear speed. And
I actually liked the one that you showed today with the small ball, that its centrifugal force that is much greater than on the Earth.
Yeah,
I like that.
They take
calculated it.
They take the I should have brought up my notes, but I didn't. We were timed, right? So they'll take a tennis ball, get it wet, and spin it as fast as they can in it, and they have a picture of the water flinging off. And you're like, okay, do the math. Like, you're gonna make a claim, a quantifiable claim. You need to do the math on it. So
you can even just show them the video of. I think it was Scott. No, I don't remember his name. But on the ISS, if you just search on YouTube, ISS wet cloth. There's a guy, an astronaut on the ISS.
He rings it.
He rings it, and the water sticks to his hands. Like,
I think that was Chris Hadfield.
Yeah, it was.
And that's just beautiful to see. It sticks to the outside of his hand, and it's quite a bit of water.
I tell you what, if I can ever afford to do one of those zero-G flights, I'm gonna see if I could try to bring up a pouch of water and a ball and just squirt it on the ball during my 30 seconds of zero-G, so I could make a video and show that, just to say, look, here you go.
Yeah, that would be
there it
pretty
is.
awesome.
Yeah. Linear speed only affects Coriolis and Edvos. Utvush. Hey, Scythe. How do you pronounce? I don't know if you're close enough to.
You're right, Scythe. The DK is just
no.
It's my gaming name.
The EOTVOS. And it's got umlauts.
What?
So the effect where when you're moving east or west, it increases or decreases the amount of centrifugal force. So it increases or decreases your weight.
North or south, not east or west.
No, it's east west.
Yeah,
North south is Coriolis, and east
wasn't it
west.
a pronunciation that you wanted?
I
might want to write it if
I want the pronunciation. So here, let me. I will put
Is
it in the
Edvos?
chat.
I could be totally messing that
It's
up.
EOTVOS, and both of the O's have umlauts. And he's Hungarian.
What language is that? Yeah, that's that's an Eastern European language. I tried learning Polish, but I have no idea how that's said. The Slavic
Gauden's
the Slavic pronunciations are pretty. They're not the same as Danish.
So Gauden's Raber, who's in Switzerland, speaks German, right? Says he spelled it out UUTWOOSH. So Utwoosh. So is it a W sound or a V sound for Americans?
So the thing about we don't use the O with umlaut in Denmark. We use the like in the road mics. This is the one that we have. It's
with
called
a zero
U.
slash.
It's A and E put together. So it's called U.
Oh, so Stringer News 1 says it's...
Sorry. It's a O and E. A and E has a different... Yeah, so
Okay.
it's O and E. So in Danish, this would be like... Iutvus.
Yeah, you're getting a kind of a Y sound in there. So Stringer News 1 says it's pronounced goulash. Could be right.
It's pronounced goulash.
And Gauden's Raber, maybe Gauden's you could put it in a video. So yeah, umlaut, it's like the U in burn. So I don't know. I'm not gonna try. That'd be awesome. Anyway, he's Hungarian. Hungarian and German. I don't know how close they are. So
But the thing about that Danish letter, the O with the thing
slash?
through it, every time I see a road mic, I don't read it as road. I read it as røde, which means red in Danish. So it's a red microphone for me.
red.
So
Is that what it means?
Yeah, it means red.
When I stayed in Amsterdam, I stayed at the Red Lion, which is I'm not going to try to pronounce it. How would you say red?
Danish, that would be røde løve.
Ooh, okay, I'm not saying that. Make him close.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Yeah. There it is.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Toon. I just wanted to say thank you to. It's got their full names on here, so I'm not going to say them on stream. But 2 people donated to my GoFundMe, and I really want to thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks
amazing.
everybody.
I appreciate it more than you could ever know.
And the link's back in there if you want. Christopher and Dave says Utvoosh. There we go. Anyway, the Red Lion, ROODELEEUVW. Leuw. I don't know. That's where I stayed when I was in Amsterdam.
Dutch has some like a lot of the Dutch pronunciations are like a mix between Danish, German, and English, so it can get a little bit weird. Like the G sound in Dutch is like, how do you do that?
Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
Well, Spanish has multiple letters that are not H that are pronounced with H, and the H doesn't get pronounced. So.
Multiple. There's J. What else?
X. It's not
Mexico.
Yeah, it's not Mexico. It's Mexico.
Yeah.
So multiple too. So maybe a better word than multiple. Couple.
Yeah.
So Clive Wells. I'm so the anti 5G crazy people, they say that 60 gigahertz robs oxygen from people, or somehow it it absorbs oxygen. I've heard it the most reasonable one, which is still not reasonable, but that it affects the electrons. No more words than that are offered. It affects the electrons so that it can't get uptake. So the oxygen cannot get uptaken by hemoglobin. That's all BS, of course. But so it is my understanding that it is the spin that's getting reversed of 2 electrons, I believe. It's hyper fine structure. I don't know how to calculate the energy level for that, and I'd like to know how. So if you know, Clive, or if you know somebody, Clive, can I get in contact so that we can go over that, or anybody listening, because I've not yet heard anybody anywhere actually give a solid physics explanation for what's happening at that level, that it's absorbing 60 gigahertz so as much as it does.
Maybe Jack can ask one of his
I
professors.
have that in my equation sheet for my last exam, actually.
Sif, sorry, you said my name Jord means earth in Danish?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of awesome.
And also in Swedish.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just saw that in the chat, and that's kind of awesome. Just imagine if "and the" meant like ground or something.
So, all right, Jack, what were you saying?
I have that in my equation sheet from my last exam. I'll pull it up.
The hyperfine structure and spin?
Yep.
All right, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the PDF when I pull it up.
All right. Because AB Science did a video on that, and I went back and forth with him a little bit, and he's like, well, here's what I have, and then gave me a couple links, and I'm like, all right, thanks, and I'll see. But it didn't give me enough, so. A solid physics explanation for what I went quiet?
I heard you fine, but I might not have gone to stream well.
Kitsume Cavalier. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So, solid physics explanation for what happens to the oxygen molecule when it interacts with a 60 gigahertz photon. And the flat earth... Oh, you must just be listening because I was waving my hands around. The anti-5G nutters, they don't have an explanation other than it interacts and it makes it so that the body cannot uptake hemoglobin. It doesn't make any sense. They have no explanation beyond there's an interaction and we don't know why. So
I have an explanation for them. Magic.
Oh, all right. Quiddies is saying play that dang video. It took me 5 minutes to find it. Wait, hold on. There it is. Oh, the Ootvoosh. All right, I will. Hold on. I'll get it. I'll throw it in. 1 minute debunk. Oh yeah. All right, I'm going to get it up on the screen so everybody can see. And of course, the only people that will hear are the people that are not in the live stream. So I do need to get that fixed. So, all right, here we go. 1 minute debunk on pronouncing this word.
That's it. I'm calling out every debunker on YouTube. That's right. You've seen this word. You've noticed the umlaut. You knew something was up, but you just charged ahead and mangled the pronunciation of Utvush. Utvush. There's no shame in that. English is a language of exceptions and curveballs. Utvush is a Hungarian surname. It has a silent E for historical reasons. The is an U. It's between and a, like at the start of Earl. T and V are as you would expect. And finally, sh. In Hungarian, s is written using this letter. Yes, it's a single letter, like in list. Sh is written with this letter, as in Budapest. Now that's cleared up, hopefully we won't hear Utvush again. So yeah, no more Utvush.
All right, there we go. Utvush. I'll stick with Utvush until somebody who speaks Hungarian comes and slaps me. So yeah, let's see. We girlism says I'd still pay good money to see MC Toon debate Mark Steele. I'm working on it. Last week you saw me challenge him, and Lee Garrett contacted me. Not Mark Steele. Lee Garrett contacted me saying it's gonna be on this day on Lee Garrett's channel. I'm like, no. In my video, my challenge, I'm like, it's going to be a neutral third party. Modern day debate is my primary choice, and that's neutral. Agree to disagree? Probably not really neutral, but it's smaller than modern day debate. Or the BBC. I don't know how you do that, but the BBC. So he's like, no, I want to have it on Lee Garrett's channel. No, sorry. Not acceptable. But Mark is too scared to even send me an email. So, yeah, Mark. I'm working on it.
Isn't that the same thing about the prolific flat earthers, like the ones you hear about the most? They never debate. They just want to spout their nonsense.
Well, some of them used to until they got, beat too hard so many times. Like Jeranism did debate a couple times, I don't know, at least once, with Red's Rhetoric and got destroyed. Oh, no, I at least twice. Jesse Kozlowski set him straight, too. I don't know if
oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
That thing, that whole Jesse Kozlowski thing, like, it was actually annoying to me to listen to Jeranism try and, like, he was talking to an expert and still pretending like he knew more than the expert. Like, that actually made me a little bit annoyed.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Mark Steele does debate, but I think he's gotten, he knows he's lying. He knows he's just full of crap. So I think he's like, he knows he has to control the situation or he'll get embarrassed, and so he's going to have it on Lee's channel so that he can control the situation. So yeah. Let's see. I got the name wrong. I got the pronunciation from We Jerry 1SM. So there we go. We Jerry 1SM. Thank you. So radio frequency EM waves we use in things like NMR and MRIs to flip proton spins out of alignment with the magnetic field. I'm very familiar with radio waves and effects of spin. Oh yeah. And yeah, when I was reading on that stuff, NMR and MRIs came up a lot. What I want to do is I want to be able to calculate. It's easy to calculate the energy level for a single photon of 60 gigahertz, or it's actually 59 and some change. It's the Bose-Einstein equation. The frequency times Planck constant. That gives you the energy of that photon. It's the energy level of the interaction, right? So it hits. The photon gets absorbed and it changes the spin how do you calculate the spin? So JSCito, if you have that, or I know Jack was talking about it, contact me. You know how you can get a hold of me. Stuff in the description, email or Facebook or Twitter or Discord. So, oh yes, the thread on my challenge on Facebook is full of absolutely appalling nonsense from Lee Garrett, from Garrett and Steele's sock account. So Lee has not commented on there, but Ben Travis is. Many people think that Ben is Mark. I think more people think that Ben is Mark Steele's twin brother, Graham Steele. I don't know. Some people think that either of them can log in. So
there might be another crazy person that you could try and talk to. His name is Ken Wheeler. I'm actually not sure how to pronounce his YouTube channel name.
Yeah, Ken Wheeler and AB Science need to meet, but Ken won't.
Yeah, and
he will hide behind everything he can, because AB Science knows his stuff and Ken is making up stuff.
Yeah, I know. And the funny thing about Ken, I started following him because of his lens reviews, because he doesn't know about a lot about camera lenses. And I made a lot of good positive comments on that. And then I made one comment just questioning what he was saying in one of his woo-woo videos, and I got instantly blocked.
Oh,
and then I went on a live stream.
He's a pro censoring guy.
That's not even the worst of it. I went on to a live stream on my normal account, and I saw, looked at it in incognito mode. I saw they were not getting through. So I went on my second account, asked him, and he was like, no, I don't block anybody. I don't hide anybody. But like, he is extremely sensitive about his woo stuff. Like, if you don't agree with him, you get blocked instantly.
Yeah, well, the people that make up that stuff, they have to, because as soon as you get somebody detracting in the comments, it throws your whole story off. So that's why Mark Steele blocks everybody on his everywhere.
Does he also
goes.
sell books?
Does Mark Steele sell books?
Does Mark Steele also sell? Yeah, like
no.
Ken Wheeler, because Ken Wheeler has a lot of books.
No,
he sells.
Mark Steele. I think, I'm not sure, but I think his deal is the political. They call it a political organization that him and his brother formed, right? He's like, there's this political organization and they do good. Like, no, your twin brother founded it. His twin brother is on the board of directors, right? And so you go to their website, and then for £1 a month, you're whatever, all sorts of legal claims that are probably no more realistic than the Sovereign Citizens Black Law Dictionary. But yeah, £1 a month. How many people do you need to get paying £1 a month before you got a sweet little deal going? So yeah, I some people think that's his deal. Is he's working on that, and I don't know. I don't really care why. It's wrong. He's just lying to people. So unless he's that insane, he could be that insane.
It's the same thing with Ken Wheeler, but like, he's selling books on his stuff, and on YouTube proclaiming that he is the only person in the world that knows the secrets of light and magnetism.
Yeah,
come on,
with no empirical anything.
Yeah. So, something I've always figured out is that if anybody tells you that they're the only person who knows something, 99% of the time they're wrong. Like,
I think you're undershooting there.
The funny thing about Ken Wheeler, Ken Wheeler does lens reviews, and if the people at Nikon don't know how light works, they can't make lenses. So he knows he's full of shit. Sorry for swearing.
Yeah, the best ones are the ones that have an understanding enough to fool the people that don't, while still giving enough of a story so that when they look into things at the level that they can look into, they're like, oh, that checks out. But
Yeah.
You can only go so far.
Yeah, like I keep bringing him up because he's been on my mind a lot, but you got like your Kent Hovind types that like you can tell you are a smart individual. You're just using it to lie to people. Like I don't for a second believe that Kent Hovind believes half of the stuff he says. He just does it because it's the only way he knows to make money.
The thing about
Ken
Hovind is that like
he believes it.
Yeah, and Kent Hovind is convincing because he's had the same script for like at least 30 years now, so he knows it by heart.
His son knows it by heart. When he went to jail for tax evasion, his son kept peddling the same crap.
And
that's the good thing about watching it. If you watch Pothole 54, some of the videos he goes over by Kent Hovind are his lectures on VHS from like the 90s or 80s or something like that.
I love Pothole 54.
And it's the same. Yeah. And the thing Kent Hovind spouts now, it's the exact same word for word script.
Right, it hasn't changed at all, and that's what makes me think that he really doesn't believe in it, because like even flat earthers have changed their arguments in small little ways. Like you got your Bob Nodells who picked up the 15-degree hour drift, but they didn't accept it, but they still tweaked their hypothesis. You know, they still were like, okay, that didn't work, so maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Kent Hovind, you throw it at him, and it's like throwing a rubber ball at a cement wall. It just bounces off because that type of person, the one who can considerably repeat themselves verbatim and be told they're wrong and keep saying it word for word, is a snake oil salesman. They're a liar. They're running their shtick.
Here's what you're missing. You see this with flat earthers too. They start with a conclusion. Right. And the reason why they start with a conclusion is because they read it in the Bible. And they're convinced of that. So they're like, this is the end. Everything else has to match that. So let me find the way that convinces me that it gets me to the end. And so now, all right, so that then reaffirms their belief. It is a religious position, a blind faith position, but this little line of evidence that they got, it convinced them, right? It's not actual evidence, but they're just convinced. So he doesn't change his script because he thinks it's right.
I mean,
the problem that Kent Hovind has now is that in his old videos he actually gives sources, and he still uses those sources today, even though that like he is completely misrepresenting them. Like one of them was like I've seen this so many times, so I remember it. Like a living mollusk shell was dated at, I think it was like 30,000 years old, and the paper he got it from was a paper that said you cannot use carbon-14 dating for sea life.
Isn't it?
So
you can't I'm sorry, but isn't it that you can't use carbon dating for like any
marine life?
Yeah, any marine life. Yeah. No, that too. But you can. But that it's also that you can't use it for any sea living creatures,
right?
Because of how they absorb carbon.
Organic creatures, and like I'm sure I don't. Well, could you use it for any organic creatures? I don't think you could. Like,
yeah,
you can use it for anything.
That's the thing. You can, just not marine life, because marine life absorbs carbon in a different way.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like we absorb carbon. There's carbon in the air that gets absorbed by plants. Then things eat the plants. Then we eat those things, and that's how we get the carbon. But marine creatures, they get most of their carbon from dissolved minerals like limestone that dissolves into the water, and because it's a different process, they have a different carbon ratio of the isotope.
And it has a word. It's called the reservoir effect. When it's marine life.
I'm gonna have to look into that because I actually haven't. I've never. The most I know about the radiometric datings are, I know some of them have very specific time scales that they work in, and some have very long time scales that they work in. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like carbon 14 is like, I think it's max at the most 30,000 years. But since you like particle 54, like he has done so many videos on that
right.
like he's taken those claims and like I don't think Kent Hovind likes him.
Yeah, I don't think Kent Hovind likes anybody who can reasonably refute what he's saying.
So Graham Price says, quoting Bob Nodell, "We discovered a 15-degree-per-hour drift, but obviously we weren't going to accept that." For me, that second part of this sentence is the most revealing.
It's
right.
Yeah.
He
It
obvious.
shows
He even said obviously. Obviously, we were going to do anti-science. That's why the Riley Nodell effect exists.
It's
he
just
also
like,
has he has another good one with the plain truth. I don't know why I'm seeing his community posts in my feed sometimes, but earlier that would be yesterday for me, earlier today for you, he posted a picture of a boat disappearing bottom first, and in the caption to it he says, "Boats do not disappear bottom first." So he has a picture of it disappearing bottom first and denying it.
See, it's just like who was that guy that Bill Nye debated on stage?
That was
Ken Ham.
Ken Ham.
Ken Ham, yeah.
When the moderator, or I can't remember who asked the question, but somebody asked them the question, "What would change your mind?" Bill Nye said evidence. Ken Ham said nothing. And that is the most telling for any anti-scientific or conspiratorial movement. If nothing will change your mind, then
you reject science.
It's over.
It's
reject,
over. Like,
right.
So it's
there's nothing to talk about.
It's just science denialism.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, they make up names. They're like, it's scientism. Like, hold on a second. No, science is, my definition, the application of critical thinking, deductive logic, and inductive logic to explore the universe and understand it. That's what science is, right? And there's other definitions. They're all pretty much, they fall together, or they agree. That's so when you say scientism, you're just saying you don't agree with using critical thinking, logic, deductive reasoning, and inductive reasoning to try to have a better understanding of things. And
it's just because they want to use words as like they want to make it sound like creationism, so that's why they do it.
Right.
Yeah,
that's why they say scientism, evolutionism.
Yeah, when
it's
you put
all the same thing.
When
it's
you put
just,
ism on the end, it makes it into a religion. That's with our religious position, and that's their effort. They want to suggest that science is faith-based, and it's not. It's the opposite of that. We want to have no faith in it. Yeah, we don't want to have. We want to remove personal interpretation and biases from that, and that's why repetition is good. Why peer review is good.
And that was the thing Hip Hop Hippie didn't understand, because he thinks peer review is everybody can do it, and no, other experts in the same field, like experts, have to see if you're doing it correctly. And it is extremely difficult to get to get even past the submission phase to get a paper in a scientific journal.
I just want to interject. Stringer Moves 1 said, I tried using inductive logic on my gas range. It didn't work well. Just send me the medical bills. I'll add you to my GoFundMe.
Yeah, Clive Wells also says that Darwinism, and that's the thing that they don't understand. Like, yes, Darwin, he discovered one mechanism of evolution, but Darwin was wrong about many things, and Darwin isn't actually taught that much in evolutionary science now. They've moved on, like with all the new discoveries, and they just hang on to Darwin because they think that like he's seen as some messiah in science, and like he's not really. yeah, he discovered one mechanism of evolution, but
It's just like a friend of mine told me once that great man science, like the science that glorifies one person, like, I mean, yeah, Einstein, Newton, they were huge minds, but nothing they did existed in a vacuum, you know, like they
That's the thing about- I
were
like about-
building on everybody else's work, like.
what I like about Potholder 54 is that he has the best quote that I love to use. Your opinion is completely irrelevant in science. What you have evidence for, that's what matters. Because like you can see in like some creationist circles, they do have some scientists. They will have like somebody in statistics commenting on evolution when that's not their field. They know how to get something peer reviewed, but they don't do it because they know they don't have any evidence for it. They're just saying an opinion.
People also don't know how to separate opinion from science. So they'll give a quote from Newton saying non-contact force to him seemed ridiculous, but he published his work anyway because it didn't matter what he thought of it. That was just what the evidence said.
Right.
Yeah, and
we
somehow that disproved gravity.
Yeah, that's their argument.
Doesn't.
Newton thought it was weird, therefore gravity is false.
I've actually seen Jeranism try and like he's taken two different quotes from Tycho Brahe and put them together to say that like there's no parallax. Like he took two completely different quotes and put them together. That's cool hard logic. He actually spotted that. That was pretty funny. But do you know why?
Well, I gotta log off here, so
Yeah.
Have a good night, folks.
Thanks for coming on
Good night.
Astronomy Live.
Yep,
Yeah, have a
thank
nice
you.
night, man.
You too.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Nice talking
absolutely.
to you.
Yep. Thanks.
But do you know why? Do you know why Tycho Brahe didn't think that parallax was a thing? Do you know why he couldn't spot that?
He probably couldn't measure it.
Yeah, because he didn't have any telescope. Telescopes wasn't invented back then.
Yeah,
he was using his eyes.
Doing it by eye. Yep. And he did a lot of things with his eyes. He had like things to have references, right, in his field of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his model of a solar system was actually pretty funny. He thought that it was geocentric, but he had like, hang on, I'm actually gonna show. Hang on, I just need to find the picture. Because his model of the solar system is like completely messed up.
Yeah, you have to.
As is any model that puts the Earth in the center of the solar system.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, so he has the he actually has the sun. I think this is the sun and Mercury and Venus, and this is the Earth, and this is all of the other things, because he couldn't get a geocentric view to work with the observations that he did. So he had like this really weird thing where he had like, okay, so the Earth is, the sun is here in the middle with Venus and Mercury, and then the Earth orbits the sun, but everything else orbits the Earth. Like,
oh, so he took one step away from geocentrism.
Oh,
yeah, because it didn't make sense when it comes to Venus and Mercury, that doesn't actually work in geocentrism because they are only seen like near the sun, and that's the problem.
I mean,
it's a good attempt.
Yeah,
like it's what he had. He worked with what he had back then, and like you can't really blame him. But then Kepler took 5 years to go over all of his observations to actually see that, hang on, that's not what's going on here.
People take modern
that's-
observation for granted.
But it's
Said
pretty
what, Jack?
funny.
Sorry, I didn't
to look at.
understand that.
It is pretty funny to look at how he saw the universe, and then like his assistant comes along, studies his work for 5 years, and then he's like, no, that's not how it works actually. And he came up with a fairly good approximation.
I do need to make a correction because before I said to Jordan that any air-breathing animals should work fine with
dating.
But that's not true because I assume that every single air-breathing animal would be on land, but marine mammals, they do receive a good chunk of their carbon from marine animals like fish or whatever, and they're not going to be accurately dated using carbon dating. So as long as it's within the let's call it the nutrient cycle for land-living organisms.
As long as it's in the oceanic carbon cycle, right?
If it's in the oceanic carbon cycle, then carbon dating is out the window.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. You asked for MC Toon's email. I did provide it in the chat.
I did send him the thing it's sent, so he should have the thing.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't even address it, so I just went ahead and provided it. mctoon@mctoon.net, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So all right.
The last picture has the equation you need. Everything else is just the lead up to it to explain the
I
variables.
see. Okay. This combining orbital and spin angular momenta.
Yeah.
Energy levels of hydrogen, including fine structure.
And then
You have some reading to do.
Yeah, with
I do.
The thing with oxygen is that it's not going to have the same nuclear charge. So I hope I included something about the effective nuclear charge.
So yeah, Clive Wells said, I think it was Clive, said you can do it for hydrogen because it's basic, but for oxygen you need, and then I forgot what he said, but something much more complicated.
Yeah, I can give you a good approximation, but if the finer details you probably have to go to Clive for, since he's already done his quantum stuff.
Yeah.
Just starting.
So yeah, so it might not be something that is. I can present the Bose-Einstein equation. It's simple, right? But this looks like it is not going to be something that would map to a debate with Mark Steele.
You can try. You can always...
Speaking of debates,
would you understand it?
No, but the point is, he's making claims about what 60 gigahertz does to oxygen. And first of all, I need a citation. I'm not going to have myself be the expert. That's what Mark Steele does. He says, I'm a weapons systems expert. He's not. But he appeals to himself as the authority. Never has any citations. So everything I do has citations. I mean, that's been my thing since the beginning. I have a website of citations. So
right.
I can at least point to this if I can get something somewhere that outputs the correct energy levels for it. So,
but by the way, speaking of debates, I have actually two things I need to bring up about debates. One, have you heard any word from McFlatty about the debate where I challenged him and Flunchy to a 2-on-1? Have you heard anything about that?
I have not, but you might have missed it at the beginning of the stream. My aunt gave me a call, and she knows that I'm on vacation next week, traveling on the 10th. I'm not the 10th, the day, a week from today, whatever day it is. And she convinced me, grudgingly, to let McFlatty have my channel for the evening. So
I cannot wait.
Anyway, so yeah, if somebody is interested in debating him, I can probably get you in touch with him.
The second thing I did want to bring up about debates was I have a friend named Logan who's actually watching right now. What's up, Logan? He actually wanted to debate you because he heard you didn't like the Star Wars sequels. Apparently, you've said that on one of his streamers.
The sequels? You mean episodes 7, 8, 9?
Yeah.
I don't have a strong opinion on them like I do the prequels. 1, 2, and 3 are terrible. So
I will debate you on that any day of the
so
week.
I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. There's that Cookie Monster one that's
we
not
still haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, the guy got a new job and some stuff. So then there's the Star Wars prequels, and then somebody else challenged me to debate Peter Gabriel Genesis versus Phil Collins Genesis. And the problem there is, of course, you want to play the music, but it's all copyrighted,
Right,
so
right.
that'd be difficult. So anyway, I'm going away for 2 weeks, and I have a ton of stuff to do. I need to get my vehicle's 7-pin brake adapter installed tomorrow. So anyway,
you got all the pop cans back there. You're gonna have to get yourself a bottle of this so you can crush the competition.
Nice.
While you got your high IQ tabs.
I have orange pop right here.
Oh, no, Strawberry Crush is where it's
Strawberry
at, man.
Crush.
Yeah, this one actually, I don't know what's up with it. It was a different color, so I didn't want to drink it. I think it was just the bottom of the sugar tank, the syrup. Sometimes you get that. Which is actually why Mountain Dew bottles their stuff in green, so you can't tell when the ones are from the bottom, which is what I've heard at least.
Nice.
If we're spreading conspiracies with no evidence.
That happens. Jack, use this multiplier to approximate with high oxygen while using the other equation.
Once again, it's on the second last page, and the last page is an example, and everything else is just a preamble, I guess.
All right. All right. I may have to look at it. I don't know. We'll see. I got trying to get.
You have some studying. You have some studying to do.
Well, I have a plan. So. Let me read this. J.L. Warren for $1.99. He's probably gone by now. It says Team Skeptic worthy art right there, which is this, I believe. And it is. We've been going for 2.5 hours. I think it's time for people to go to bed.
About, I would say so.
No, it's not. It's 8 a.m. here.
1:54 where I'm at.
Time for this guy to go to bed.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I'll see you guys later because I do need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Take it easy, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, Syph. You got something to say?
No, not really.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Let's see. Everybody, thank you so much for your super chats. And for being channel members. I got to update my trailing thing now because I got I got a couple new ones. B. Falconer. I remember Mark Steele from way back. He pissed me off because he never allowed anyone to comment on his videos. Exactly. I commented. So let me finish this before we go. Last week I recorded a video challenging Mark Steele. Lee Garrett played part of my video and then cut it off just before I said the venue that I would accept. And I commented on that video and he deleted that comment. There are 0 comments on that video. I told him about that. He said he wanted my comment to not be hidden, but left it hidden, I guess. So, Gowden's Raber, is the stream with Hip Hop Hippie worth watching, MC Toon? I thought it was great. It was a different format, a point format. I won't tell you who won.
Yeah. Everything with MC Toon is worth watching, Gavin Draper.
So anyway, all right. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Tell me all about your hatred for this video in the comments, or how much you loved it. I don't know. I don't care. We'll see you again in a couple weeks. I do have some videos coming out that aren't me, but will be on my channel anyway. So be looking for those. And that's it. Thanks. Bye.